Good evening. Welcome to the regular Piqua City Commission meeting, January 4th, 2022. Let's begin by saying the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Will the clerk call the roll?
Absolutely. Commissioner Hines.
Here.
Commissioner Grissom.
Here.
Mayor Lee.
Here.
Commissioner Pearson. Here. Commissioner Vogt.
Here.
All right, the first thing that we're going to do is the oath of offices for the 3rd Ward Commissioner, which is me, and the 4th Ward Commissioner, which is Mr. Grissom. So, you want to come down?
Both go?
Yes.
You want to do them together, or do you want to do them separately?
Together's fine.
You don't want it on your first time. We'll do it
No.
together.
First time together.
Both of you raise your right hand. Say aye and state your name.
I, Chris Lee.
Commissioner from the 4th Ward,
Commissioner from the 4th Ward.
Commissioner from the 3rd Ward.
Commissioner from the 3rd Ward
Of the City of Piqua, Ohio,
of the City of Piqua, Ohio,
solemnly swear or affirm
solemnly swear or affirm
that I will obey the Constitution and laws of the United States
that I will obey the
Constitution and laws of the United States
and of the State of Ohio,
and of the State of Ohio,
and I will in all respects observe the provisions of the Charter and ordinances of the City of Piqua.
that I will in all respects obey
Observe the
Observe.
provisions
the
the
provisions
provision
of the Charter and ordinances
of the Charter and ordinances
of the City of Piqua,
of the City of Piqua,
and faithfully discharge the duties of the office of the City Commissioner.
and faithfully discharge the duties of the office of the City of Commissioner.
Thank you, gentlemen. Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. We'll break it up a little more, like we're supposed to memorize.
Congrats.
Thank you, thank you.
Thanks, Frank. Payback. All right, and then the next section is the nomination for mayor and vice mayor. As you know, City of Piqua, the commissioners nominate and elect who is going to be mayor or vice mayor. So at this time, I will solicit a nomination for who will be mayor.
I'd like to nominate Thomas Vogt for the mayor position.
I second that. Moved and seconded. I guess, do we need to do a roll call on that, Frank?
Yes.
I will have a roll call on that.
Commissioner Hines.
Aye.
Commissioner Grissom.
Aye.
Mayor Lee.
Aye.
Commissioner Pearson.
Aye.
Commissioner Vogt.
Aye.
All right, and then next would be the oath of office for vice mayor, or the vice mayor position.
I make a motion, we nominate Cindy Pearson for vice mayor.
I'll second that. Moved and seconded. Can we have a roll call for that as well?
Commissioner Hines.
Aye.
Commissioner Grissom.
Aye.
Mayor Lee.
Aye.
Commissioner Pearson. Aye. Commissioner Vogt.
Aye.
All right, and with that said, we have a new mayor and vice mayor, and they need to go down and be sworn in for their oath of office.
Do these separately, okay?
Sure.
Do the vice mayor first. You ready, Cindy?
Oh, boy.
Okay. I, Cindy Pearson,
I, Cindy Pearson,
solemnly swear or affirm
solemnly swear or affirm
that I will obey the commission and laws of the Constitution and the laws of the state of the United States.
that I will obey the Constitution and the
Can't even
laws of
read
the
it.
state of Ohio,
The United States and of the state of Ohio.
the United States and the state of Ohio,
That I will in all respect
that I will in all respect
observe the provisions of the Charter
and observe the provisions of the Charter
and ordinances of the City of Piqua,
and the ordinance of the City of Piqua,
and faithfully discharge the duties
and faithfully discharge the duties
of the office of Vice Mayor of the City of Piqua.
of the office of Vice Mayor of the City of Piqua.
Congratulations. All right, Thomas, are you ready? All right. I, Thomas Vogt,
I, Thomas Vogt,
solemnly swear or affirm
solemnly swear or affirm
that I will obey the Constitution
that I will obey the Constitution
and laws of the United States
and laws of the United States
and of the State of Ohio,
and of the State of Ohio,
that I will in all respects
and that in all respects
observe the provisions of the Charter
observe the provisions of the Charter
and ordinances
and ordinances
of the City of Piqua,
of the City of Piqua,
and faithfully discharge the duties of the office of the Mayor of the City of Piqua,
and faithfully discharge
the
the
duties
duties
of the office
of the office
of Mayor of the City of Piqua. Congratulations, sir.
Yeah, I'll switch.
He just watched.
Yeah, I'll swap with him, that's fine.
Okay.
Unless we want to take
No,
I know, right?
no, I'm good.
They could really shake it up. There's really no rhyme or reason why this is.
Gotcha.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you, Frank.
Congrats.
grab all my stuff.
Yep.
Congratulations.
Might want to pass this down.
Pass this down. Yeah. Thank you.
I can never get through when I swear.
Good.
I think that's it.
You still have to sign
Chris?
off on these. Your name's on them.
Oh, okay. If my name's on, I'll sign.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
Yep, still on.
Get me another one.
All righty, we'll move on to business here. First thing we have on the agenda for tonight is the consent agenda. We have one item.
The approval of the minutes from the December 14th, 2021 regular Piqua City Commission meeting.
I make a motion, we approve the consent agenda.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Moving on down the agenda, we have one item of old business, resolution number R-116-21.
A resolution authorizing temporary loan of cash from the general fund to the other funds for the fiscal year 2021 as amended.
Thank you, Commissioners. So I'm bringing this resolution back that we passed on the last commission meeting due to an unforeseen delay on some draw disbursements. So I had to increase the temporary loan from the general fund to our CDBG fund by $20,000.
Any questions from the commission? Any questions from the citizens at this time? No questions, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion for resolution number R-116-21 amended.
I'll second.
Just lost my verbiage, what I was thinking about. I'm telling you, right?
Has been moved and seconded.
The resolution has been moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those in favor, all those opposed? None opposed, motion carries. Next on the agenda is new business, resolution number R-1-22.
A resolution approving the purchase of excess liability insurance.
Thank you again. So this resolution is for approval to go with Aegis for excess liability insurance for utility services that our Verma coverage does not cover.
Are there any questions from the commission?
Did we do this last year?
Correct.
Was there an increase?
There was an increase. It was, I have it right here. I believe it was 14% increase.
Insurance.
And it still looks like it was under what we budgeted, so we expected that increase?
We did expect this increase.
There we go.
We expected this increase across the board for
Sure.
all of our insurance.
Sure.
coverage.
No problem.
I know last meeting when we was talking about insurance is about being able to go out to the market and see if there's other insurance carriers that can help out with this. Is this one of those as well that we can go out to the market for and see if there's better
We can
rates
take a
going
look
next
at,
year?
absolutely, we can take a look at that. We use a broker firm to go out and take a look at the coverages for this excess liability. It is a very specialized coverage, though.
Any other questions from the commission at this time? Any questions from the citizens? With no questions, I'll take a motion.
I make a motion, we approve resolution number R-1-22.
A second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? None opposed. Motion carries. Moving on for new business as well, resolution number R-2-22.
A resolution approving the purchase of liability insurance for Piqua's Combustion Turbines.
Thank you again. This is, again, excess liability insurance, and this is through Chubb, in which Marsh McLennan was our broker for it. It did increase as well, and this is for the combustion turbine, which Verma also doesn't cover.
Any questions from the commission? Any questions from the citizens? No questions, I will take a motion.
I move that we adopt resolution number R-2-22.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? None opposed. Motion carries. At this time, moving on down our agenda, we are to the public comment. This is an opportunity for the citizens to address the city commission regarding agenda items, issues, or to provide information. Comments are requested to be limited to 5 minutes, and specific questions should be addressed to the city manager's office. Would anybody like to speak? Yes, ma'am. Please come up, introduce yourself and the address of where you live.
Melanie Walker, and I live at 526 North Wayne Street. I'm just up to discuss again the fact that the semis are out of control through the downtown corridor. The last month, I've worked late at the shop, and after 5 o'clock, it's worse than what it is during the day, but I really think that the traffic has increased more than what it was over the summertime. So I don't know if y'all can address that again. I would appreciate it if you would.
I would say you're not the first person that I have heard that from, and that was in my comments later. So, and I know there's some local,
There's a lot of local.
a lot of local businesses.
And
that
not
are-
UPS. UPS has been staying away.
Right.
But there's a lot of the local companies that are barreling down through there. And after 6 o'clock at night, I think that we're on the Audubon, the way that they fly through
Right.
there.
And it's not, it's during the day, it's all day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so,
I agree, and I've seen a lot come down Riverside still, too,
yeah,
especially now that's opened back up.
okay.
Paul, can you address this?
Sure, absolutely. Excuse me. So one thing that we did notice is the truck routes are not completely signed. So in order for them to go around the downtown, it says, route, it gives them the route, but it doesn't say no through trucks.
Right.
And so I'm going to look into having some sign improvements erected on both ends of downtown. And then I'll talk to the chief about increasing the patrols, especially during the rush hour in the evening. Once the cars disappear off the street downtown, that also, traffic in general just speeds up through there. So we'll look at that. And then in addition to that, we're also going to examine the ODOT timing of the signals over the next several months. So we'll take a look at what the signal timing is, and that can have a lot to do with the impact of speed through the downtown.
I know there's only 2 of us open in the evening, but still, you know. there
Great
are
set
lots of-
eyes, yeah.
Yeah, there
Yeah.
are a lot of, there's still a lot of kids that ride bicycles through there
Mm-hmm.
and that, and are walking and that, so I think that it's something that should be taken care of.
They should not be going through there regardless of the time of day, and I'll
Yeah.
make sure that we get on top of that.
Okay.
And feel free to call my office if you do see something in particular, or event, trucking companies, because the chief calls them directly. And we've had that UPS, that's why they quit using it as a route, but we do have a lot, and I myself have followed some delivery trucks. It's like, yeah, it doesn't look like they're really on a delivery, but sure enough, they go down to do a delivery. And so we'll just keep our eye on that, and we'll increase the opportunity to do enforcement.
Okay.
And I would encourage you, you all know who those local people are, not that we have to call them out in the city commission meeting, but let the
Yep.
city manager's office know so we can
Okay.
address those local businesses.
And then I have one more thing, and I talked with you before, Mr. Vogt, about the opportunity zone. Could you just explain a little, am I not calling it the right thing?
No, that's what it is.
You could tell me where it's at and what, is it only for businesses? Is it for homeowners? Give me just a little information about it.
So I've done a little bit of research on the Opportunity Zone, and it's something that Governor Strickland put in place before he left office. And it's an individual-based tax abatement, if you will, that business owners can go after. And there's a specific area in the city of Piqua, and I believe it starts at Water Street and works all the way down to like the interstate area. But it does encompass some of our residential areas as well. I don't know all the meats and potatoes of how that works, but entrepreneurs have the ability to be able to sit down and apply for Opportunity Zone investment opportunities, if you will. And there's also some few minor chapters that are in there that do talk about residences being able to capture some funds as well. I don't know what that looks like, but the individual has to do that. It's nothing that the city has the ability to do for businesses or for the residences. It's upon the individual to actually pursue those funds through the state. I know we do have one representative here in town at Liberty Tax that has a very good knowledge base of that. I would recommend that you guys reach out to the tax preparers or even some of the lawmakers that are around, attorneys, so on and so forth, that might be able to help out with gaining some more of that information.
All right, I'm interested in a residential that we helped over the holidays, and they could use any kind of help whatsoever. And I was just thinking, after I had dropped holiday things off, and I thought they are in what I would consider to be in the opportunity zone, so I'll send them to Liberty Tax and
Yeah,
let
that
them
would be the
speak with
best
them.
thing to do.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much. I appreciate your time.
Yep. Any other comments? At this time, we'll move on to the city manager's report. Yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
And I may not even be in the right place, right time.
Can you come up
Can you,
Yeah, come up to the podium.
please?
and say your name and your address?
Jennifer Monin, 804 Broadway. I have some questions about the trash pickup. I don't know if this is the right place, or, I know you guys have the fall prevention program, and, so we don't qualify for that, but our house does not really provide for trash pickup. I mean, we live on a hill. I can't do that. So what recourse do I have?
So, ma'am, if you want, during my report, I was going to have Amy Welker, who's the director, give an update and provide some solutions to, particular residents that had those issues, whether it's a hill or they're elderly, things like that. And then as this goes on, and I'll just speak ahead of her report, but essentially it's an evolving, operation. I've worked in communities where they've had even issues with parking, and we've designated parking spaces during trash day to be just receptacle spaces.
Okay.
So we'll find a way. It's going to take us all working together to make this work.
I understand that.
Yep. And so certainly the recourse is to contact us. We'll work with you the
Well,
best we can.
I did, and I was told I wasn't eligible for this. My mother is 85. I'm her caregiver, but I live there, but I can't do that either. So I'm sorry. I'm just, this is just upsetting me because I can't help her. I can't, you know, we live on a hill and it's just,
Right.
so the trash is going to be out there in the yard. The day that I put a trash bag in there, it's going to be sitting out in front of my house and it's going to be all over the place. And so, and I was told that I'm not eligible. So I did call and they're like, well, you're not eligible.
So that kind of falls under the same thing as, you know, having high grass and people that are not able to, you know, they get to the age where they're not able to take care of their yard and things like that. And so, you know, when you reach those kinds of areas, sometimes, and what I've found in the past is if we can work with the schools or even volunteers and get a list of people that are willing to help out to meet that, you know, meet the obligation of getting either your yard cleaned or get your trash to the curb. You know, we can work on that with volunteer groups, and certainly when it comes to conformance and having a regulation that we're asking people to abide by, we can sit down and try to work through it. I can't say because I don't know all the facts whether or not we're going to be able to help you, but certainly we can try to work through it, and if not, find somebody that may be able to help you.
Well, I can do it, but I can't do it up and down a hill. If it's in the alley, it's fine. I can do it, but I can't carry this behemoth trash can up and down a hill. I just can't do it. So if it stays the same, everything's fine, if I can be eligible for this. But if I can't.
Right, and as I said, so it's going to be an evolution as we try to figure this out and work through it, because it's going to be new for several residents. But if you don't mind, I'll have Amy Walker walk through it, and then, you know, certainly as we go through this, if you want to meet with her or even myself, I'd be happy to do that.
Thank you.
Good evening, Commissioners. The city manager asked me to provide an update tonight on where we're at with the sanitation automation project. And as you know, starting this week, we made our transition to working through the automation project. So what that entails is trying to get this program in place for the purpose, number one, is for the safety of the sanitation employees. This type of operation that we're moving towards will get, not all, but most of our collections into an automated system where we won't have employees in the roadway and in danger of being struck by a car or coming into contact with hazardous materials that are in the trash. So that's first and foremost why we're doing this project. Secondly, it's much more efficient. We're hoping to decrease our overhead costs. We won't need as much temporary help in the future to sustain the same amount of service. And we're also, as an added benefit, removing the heavy truck traffic from our alleyways. That this has been a consistent problem for years, that with the limited amount of dollars that the city has to maintain streets and alleyways, the heavy trucks are just damaging the alleyways. The alleys were not designed nor intended to maintain heavy truck traffic. So by our continual use of the alleys for these very extremely heavy trucks, we continually cause damage to the roadways that need to be repaired year after year. So we've gone to this system that also, as I've mentioned before, every other community in Miami County has already switched to. So this is nothing new or revolutionary that we're trying to institute here. We're trying to stay progressive and up with the times and use the latest technology to be as efficient and as effective as we can. So we've asked many of our customers to relocate their collection point from an alleyway to the street. And we have received many calls, and I know there's a lot of concern. It is a big change. So we're going to work through that. I really believe that if the majority of citizens try this system out for a few weeks, they'll see that it's doable. We just need everyone to be a little patient as we and the citizens try to work through how this is all going to work out. But the main concerns that we are hearing is, number one, the concern about parking density. We know that many of our streets do have a lot of on-street parking that may cause some issues for providing clear access to the carts. And what we're telling citizens is that we are going to be monitoring that situation. We are going to take a look if there are certain blocks or certain streets where the parking density makes it extremely difficult or nearly impossible for the automated collection system, then we will switch those locations to our rear loader route. We're still going to have those carts at the street. We're just going to switch which type of truck we use. Because again, we still want to try to move out of those alleys if we can. And as a last resort, if we find that even the rear loader route has difficulty in a certain location, then we may look at switching back to an alley collection. But we certainly hope not to have to do that very often. So the crew will work around the parking density issue. The other concern that we're hearing is just general questions about how and where to put the carts out at the street. And we're advising citizens to do their best. We have put out some guidelines of what we're calling best case scenario for our collection purposes, and that is to have, at least 2 to 3 feet in between carts and any other obstructions, such as a parked car, fire hydrant, telephone pole, any of those things, so that the automated truck can get to the cart and be able to dump it. Again, that's best case scenario. We're asking people, do your best. We'll work around that as well. If we find that there is absolutely nowhere to put a cart in a certain location, we will make adjustments as we need to. We're asking that the carts be placed out with the wheels facing towards the house or the property, so that when we are fully utilizing the automation, the lid will open correctly as it's being dumped and prevent as much spillage as possible. And all of these recommendations are on the flyer that we both sent out in the utility bills, so everyone should have received it. It's also on our website. And we also mailed the flyer to the locations that are being asked to change their collection location. So the information should be out there and readily available as to how to properly put out the carts. One other question about placement that we're getting is, can I, instead of having the cart physically in the street, can it be up on the curb? And that's fine. Again, as long as there's no obstructions preventing it from being collected.
So, excuse me, they make plastic containers for trash cans. Can I put that on the curb out in front of my house?
So since 2018, we provided trash receptacles to all of our customers. They're the city-issued trash cart and the city-issued recycling cart for this purpose. That's why we invested all of that money into those carts, so that we could have this collection process in place, so we can do the automation with this specific type of carts. We don't allow other types of containers because we're trying to get as many locations as possible onto this automated process. And speaking to the question that was raised earlier about, there are some specific issues or barriers at a property, we can take a look at those on a case-by-case basis. And then, again, if eligible, we're encouraging folks that need to sign up for the FPP program. I don't understand what your question is.
So they have containers, they have huge plastic containers that you can put your trash cans in and pull them out when it's time to put your trash on the street.
Mm-hmm.
Can I put that in front of my house, on the berm? All the time?
No, and ma'am, I'll answer that. That goes back to zoning regulations, and so anything that's in the right-of-way has to be permitted. And there are zoning regulations that prohibit any kind of temporary or permanent construction in the right-of-way, along with accessory buildings on the property. We can certainly look into it, and if you want to contact zoning and ask them that question, it would probably be more suitable, because I don't have all the information with me this evening. But typically, that's something that's not an appropriate installation in a right-of-way. Thank you. Amy, are you complete with your
Yes.
report? All right, thank you
Thank you.
so much. Mayor and Vice Mayor and Commission, I only have a few more items this evening, so we can get out of here on time. The first one I have, excuse me, is that, thank you, sir. As effective January 1, the Health Department has moved to the Miami County Health Department. Our contract is with them, and no longer do we have health services out of the city municipal building. If you do have inquiries, and we have to update the website to reflect these changes, but the phone number for the health department, if anybody's in need of information, is 937-573-3500, option 9. And if you want to contact them, they can provide all the services that we have here up until December 31st. Also, you can contact them at info@miamicountyhealth.net. And that will get you in the door via email if you have other questions. And like I said, we'll be sure to update our website so it reflects those changes in the contract between our old services and the new contracted services. In addition, we have a great month of January ahead of us, and part of that month includes Martin Luther King Day. I don't want to steal a lot of thunder from a few of the commissioners I know may have an announcement about this month, but our offices will be closed in respect of Martin Luther King Day on January 17th. We'll have our commission meeting on the 18th, so we'll be enjoying that day off ahead of that. And lastly, we tabled the conversation in having you do an authorization for the Looney 25A roundabout. We'll be setting up a work session meeting the end of January, beginning of February, a public work session that we'll make sure is recorded and open to the public so that we can have a discussion about information that may have not been a part of the discussion when it was originally under concept. So as things go with the municipal planning organization, so the Miami Valley Regional Planning Commission, just as the other MPOs that I've worked for in the past, you have new elected officials, you have new administration, you have economic issues that may change the way the MPO lays out their transportation plan. So this will give us an opportunity to take a fresh look at that, including our elected officials, the city administration, any stakeholders that we have in the community. And we're gathering information to have that meeting held in public so that we can make a final decision on that, and depending on the direction we go, get you all to take a vote on it. So I just wanted to let you know that'll be announced probably at our next meeting on the 18th. That ends my report, and thank you, you all, and congratulations to new Mayor Vogt and Vice Mayor Pearson. I look forward to working with you guys very closely, especially with our ribbon cuttings, which are always excellent. And I appreciate the 5 of you and your efforts. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Next, we'll move on to the commissioners' comments, and we'll start off with Commissioner Hines.
Thank you. I want to thank you for putting, I know we've asked about that work session. I want to thank you for putting that together. There's been a lot of confusion around that item and a lot of confusion around some things that I'm just trying to get all that information out there. So I think that'll be helpful for all the 5 of us and for the citizens as well as we move forward. So thank you. I want to say a huge thank you to Chris Lee for his time as mayor. He did a wonderful job. You had a horrible task ahead of you in the midst of COVID. Who knew 2 years ago that that would be where that we are? But I want to thank you for your time and your just the talent that you were able to bring to that position. Also, Chris Grissom as vice mayor. These are tough positions to sit in, having sat in the mayor position myself for 4 years. It is an honor to do it, but it's also tough at times, trying to balance everything and make the best decisions we can. So thank you for your service, and I congratulate our new mayor, Thomas Vogt, and our new vice mayor, Cindy Pearson. And one thing I want to tell the citizens of Piqua is I want you to hear that the 5 of us really do work together. We do work together, and we have the best intent for our citizens and our city in mind. And so as we come together to make these decisions, we do it with you in the forefront, and we do it trying to make the best decisions we can for our city. And I'm very honored to sit up here with the 4 of them and to be part of that time in making those decisions for us as a city right now. A couple of other things I just want to say is Happy New Year. Hard to believe it's 2022. And I do hats off to Brittany Van Horn and all those that set off those fireworks on New Year's Eve. It's a wonderful tradition that we've had for the past couple years. Wonderful way to welcome in the new year. And if you were in a part of the city that you could not see it, you could have gone up to the mall where there were a lot of people, or you could have watched it on Facebook Live. So there's no way that you could not have seen those beautiful fireworks. So thank you for all that made that happen. And I think, the other thing I was going to say were the trucks on Main Street, but we already addressed that. So I think that's all I have. So thank you, and you guys have a good Happy New Year. So thanks.
Thank you, Commissioner Hines. Commissioner Lee.
Well, I want to first of all thank the citizens of the city of Piqua for allowing me to serve as your mayor. You reelected me as commissioner, but it's never been about me, and it's never been about we up here. It's always been about the citizens as far as I'm concerned. So we try to do the best, like Commissioner Hines says, to service you, and we really do work well together. We really do. And it's not that I did not want to be mayor, but my time as mayor was best served during that small crisis. And Commissioner Vogt, Mayor Vogt, will do a good job leading us into the future. He's the guy that has had a lot of great ideas, medical, marijuana, and yeah, well. The chickens we're still talking about, but I like the idea, but I get killed at home every time I bring that up. He's the guy to lead us to the future.
The chickens are coming.
The chickens are here. They're in the store. You can buy them if that's what you want. They're frozen. They're expensive. All food's expensive. But thank you to the citizens, the commissioners, and good luck to Commissioner our Mayor Vogt. He's going to do a great job. I look forward to positive things in the future. I mean, with the benefit being to the citizens of Piqua. So, Happy New Year's as well to all the citizens. I was able to see the fireworks from my residence. It was great. I had a good time watching it. I hope everybody who had a chance to see it enjoyed it like I did. And so thanks to all those involved who planned it, executed it, and made it happen. And so, and congratulations to Vice Mayor Pearson here. And I tell you what, you're going to do a great job as well. She's always on top of it. So I just look forward to continue working together with everybody for the benefit of the citizens. And with that said, I'm done.
Thank you, Commissioner Lee. Commissioner Grissom.
Thanks. I think I can echo the sentiments of both Commissioner Hines and Commissioner Lee. I appreciate allowing me to serve as vice mayor, too. It's been a real honor.
Great job.
Yeah, I know Vice Mayor Pearson will do a wonderful job, and congratulations to both of you. Looking forward to continuing working together. So kind of, you brought up the medical marijuana, just give an update on that. The application opened up last fall, November timeframe. Applications were submitted. The state of Ohio came out, I think there was 1,600 so applications for the entire state. Piqua was eligible for 2. Our area got 25 total applications, 22 of which were Piqua, 3 in Russell's Point, and 1 in Tip City. So at the end of the month, they're projecting, they're going through all the applications, see which ones are actually eligible, and then it's going to be a random drawing to who gets that the 2 license.
22 people apply?
22 for the city of Piqua. There's 25 total for our region, 2 licenses total for the entire region.
But 22 people applied in Piqua?
Correct. Yep. So Piqua stands a good chance of getting a dispensary, possibly 2, but that will be looked to be announced by the end of January, potentially. Like I said, they have 1,600 applications to go through for the entire state, and to see which ones qualify or don't qualify, and then those that are eligible will be entered into a completely random drawing. So, also talking about updates, city manager, I didn't know if we had any kind of updates on the DORA. I know we were looking at seeing if there was any surveys, how things are going, good, bad.
Right. So unfortunately, I've been out a little while, but I'll be sure that we get that on the agenda for next meeting.
Okay, appreciate that. I was just curious to see if there was anything. I'm on that committee. We haven't met with Main Street either. I wanted to follow up with them, see if they've had any additional data, working with the local business, see if there's any good or bad. Yeah.
I can tell you from being in downtown business and having the horse parade and Christmas parade and that, there were people out with the Dora cups, not a lot, but, there were some people that were out, utilizing it.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I was at a few of those events. I've heard a lot of positive. From my perspective, I've had some people say they've heard negative, so we're wanting to get any of that feedback. The only comment I saw was on the doors of some of the businesses, people just see the sign that says door and think they can go in, even though it's a red sticker. So I think there was just some educational aspects to it, so I think that's something we can work on as a team. But other than that, I was just real curious to see if we've got any additional data that we can go on. And then, yeah, absolutely, the fireworks were fantastic. I'm still amazed that from my house down by Fountain Park, we can still see the fireworks so beautifully. My kids were out there, we had a good time, and we just stepped out on our front porch. So again, I think that's a great tradition, and to thank Jackson too for always hosting that. I mean, that's just phenomenal for them to allow us to do that, and I think they need recognized for that. That's the end of my report.
Thank you, Commissioner Grissom. Commissioner Pearson.
Well, I too want to congratulate Mayor Vogt, and I know that I'm looking forward to working with all of you again. I think we're a great group. I think that when we get together, we really get down to business, and keep all of our citizens. I think the most important thing I learned from the last 2 years is our transparency and the open forums, keeping an open mind, and always keeping our citizens focused on our citizens. And I too was out at midnight looking at the fireworks, and it was a blast. I'm just so appreciative that we can do this for our citizens. And that's all I had.
Well, thank you. I want to start off by saying thanks to the commissioners that I sat beside up here. The past 2 years have been absolutely awesome. I've learned a lot. I continue to grow professionally and personally, setting up here beside all you guys. And I guess this is a good way to kick off the new year. Thanks for the appointment to the seat of mayor for the city of Piqua. I hope to serve it well, along with everybody's guidance that's here. I try to reach out to everybody as much as possible, have those professional conversations when need be. Commissioner Lee, thank you for your time in the seat. The 2 years you took on a brunt of things. And even prior to that, Commissioner Hines, you took the city to different levels in the things that you did. And some of those traditions, the read with the mayor and things like that, I did pay attention to those. And that's something that is on my, it's on my books, maybe not as frequent as what you did, but it's something that I like to see brought back. to do with our kids, because that's the major impact that we have is, bringing the kids to the community, getting the parents involved, so on and so forth. With that being said, one thing that I want to focus on this year, I know we've talked about it, is the transparency piece, but I think community engagement this year is going to be a big focus for me. Engaging with our citizens, grasping their ideas about things on where they want to see the city go. Not that it's going to happen today, tomorrow, next year. This could be a 5-year plan from now. But I think starting to bridge that gap between the citizens and the legislative branch that sets up here, we're here to serve you guys. And I will echo 100%, all 5 of us work great together. The best of our hearts goes into this city with every decision that we make, and we want to continue to do that. However, to do that, we have to have citizen input from everybody, from business owners, from stakeholders, to the citizens that are out there just day to day living in Piqua. That's a big thing for us, and to make those decisions, we have to have your guys' input. Just to move on from that as well, I do have a few comments, and I know I'll get on my soapbox again like everybody pokes fun at me about doing it. I actually enjoy that kind of fun. But over the holiday, MetroNet had started on their permits of building out their fiber ring inside of the city. There were some complaints about that. I'm going to encourage any citizens that have any kind of complaints, please reach out to your commissioners, reach out to the city manager's office with your address and what had happened. That way we can address that. The city managers, the directors that are managing that project have meetings that are set up with their operations officers. So these issues can be addressed. We need to know about them so we can address those on a bi-weekly basis whenever those meetings are set up for. So please reach out in that means. Look forward to an economic update coming out soon on projects to include the Lock 9 Park, Crooked Handle, the Zollinger Building, and also the Moeller Brew Barn production. Looking to see, getting excited about some updates coming up on that. We're not too far away from spring. So hopefully we can start moving some dirt here soon. I'm still going to look at the commissioner small business meetings. We're still moving forward with those. We had one set up for the beginning part of January here, and unfortunately that was canceled due to the business closing its doors. And 311 is going to be greatly missed, by the way. That was a local bar restaurant that I enjoyed going to on a weekly basis. I'm sad to see them go. Hoping we can get another entrepreneur in there to open the doors back up and move on. To echo about what the city manager report was tonight on trash pickup, please be flexible with the city as they work through these nuances of this new programming for our trash to make it more efficient. And right before I come into the meeting tonight, I had a gentleman by the name of Gary Kimmel, which is a Piqua citizen, reach out to me. And he brought up concerns about the trash pickup, and he had one specific question about snow removal on some of these streets that have high-density parking, and that the snow does pile up. Granted, we're not under snow right now, but I think it's something that we do seriously need to look at as well. Working with the street department to make sure that we're not piling up 5 feet of snow on the curbs to, block the cans from being able to get out there where they need to be at. And also as well, he was part of the meeting that was over at the plaza for the dams. And we were supposed to have a meeting with Fish and Wildlife in regards to the Lowhead Dam. Can we get a rescheduled date on that one?
Yes, that'll be coming out. I apologize. That meeting was canceled at the last minute because we didn't have the agency participation, but it'll be rescheduled.
Great, thank you. And that wraps up my comments for the night. If nobody else has anything, I will entertain a motion for adjournment.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Adjourned.
All right.